Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Adobe Dimension. So, in this one, I did actually want to go through the basic shapes, right? Because I've done some stuff with the cube and the plane. Um, so let's just go through a bit more, sort of, not kind of formally. What's this button do again? Nothing, right? Interesting. All right. So, what do we want to put this? Put it just here for now. Um, and just because it's easier to work with a not not that color, right? That's something else which I can actually work with a bit more easily. All right, so let's have a look then. Mm, yeah, I remember Y is green. I remember like red X is like an easy thing to remember, but but green, Y green. Shouldn't there a place with wall? Yeah, wall green. So maybe that could be a thing to remember it. I always like to think of like mnemonics and stuff like that. Let me just check I've placed it correctly because obviously all the axes are based on a local. Yeah, so the x-axis is there, right? Hmm. Which is the depth at this point. If I go around the corner here, though, uh, let me just do. I was messing around with this. Um, that'd be left side. I remember when I was working at After Effects, I preferred being on the right side because I think it was to do with the how the numbers went up. We can always do right there and swap it around if I need to. Though. Um, yeah, it's the local axes that sometimes does trip me up a bit, and you need to be a little bit careful with that. Um, let's see. Yeah, you see, this is why I do the right side. This is exactly what I've just said. Because basically, I don't want to see it going to the left when I increase it. So let's maybe go all the way around. Maybe zoom out a little bit, and I'll put um, the right side there. Um, and then let's see. So the X position. Yeah, you see, that's what you would want, right? What about the Z? So the Z is going back towards the. Yeah, that's the way it works in After Effects. I remember basically in After Effects it would also do that. The number would decrease as it goes back. Because you basically have no choice, right? Because if you want, it's that's one of the funny things. Like if you're on the left side, um, um, so basically, if I increase the number, right? Eh, it's kind of a funny thing because it's not actually decreasing at all, is it? The problem is, right, is that you've got local axes, so it's very important to always to actually create it in the same thing that you're dealing with. So we're here on the left side. So let's just do this again quickly. I think that button just creates one more quickly, maybe. All right, so it's a local axis, right? So the X position, as I increase, it goes to the left, which is not what I want. Yeah, I think it's kind of just a thing. We just see it. Yeah, right. So basically, like I was saying, right, the left side, as we increase the Z value, it goes backwards. Which in a way, if you think about it in terms of like, if you imagine it was like a y-axis, you would think, well, actually, that's good. It's going up, and so it's getting further away, so it becomes smaller. But I don't know. I think in my head, I'm just used to it now being on the right side. So let's see. So we should see it on the X. I would want it to increase and go to the right. And then this would be, as it increases, it comes nearer. Yeah. So basically, in front of my face is like 1,000. Miles away is minus 1,000. The way I look at it, but I do like that more. But here's the thing, though, right? And again, we'll have to. Yeah, I think we'll just get rid of the left viewport. So I don't like it. This is actually the top, but I can't be. I've got it in such a good place that I just know it means top. So we've got top, front, and right, which is normally what you want, right? I'm still thinking about this local because it says, for instance, when you change the shape, it says changes the shape of its local axis, right? All right, so let's actually go from the right side this time. Two, please. All right. So the shape properties. Let's look at those then. Yeah, with a cube, it's kind of more awkward. Yeah. I assume that basically you can't really read any situation from this, right? I'm not quite sure how the axes would. It would have to be in a more regular shape, like I'm trying to how could we actually get it to be basically because the thing is at this point it's a cuboid, right? So it's probably better just to look at it as a flatter cuboid, and then use the position, right, to change it. So we can actually just look around the corner a little bit. So if we take it, I'm basically trying to get something to not work. as stupid as that sounds, it's just I would prefer to get it to not work. See the axes look really good here in this section here. So it goes right as you would want. And then as I increase this value, I'd want it to come nearer to the camera. Okay, right. What I'm thinking though is if I create it in a I'm trying to see if there's any way I can actually visualize the. Let's go back to the. What I'm going to do. Why do I keep clicking this button? I don't know. What we'll do is we're going to go to this front view. So the front view is not creating it correctly. So I would expect that the local axes of the cube, when I go to the right view and try and change things. So we'll create the cube, put it in place wherever we want it, right? And then we'll make sure that it's basically a cuboid of some description, right? It doesn't really matter what. Right? Then we'll head back into the right place. So what I would expect is that its local axes at some point, because I'm in the wrong spot, will look wrong. Sometimes I think I over-engineer this, but and I've actually there isn't really a local axis because the only time a local axis would be relevant is if it's positioned on another object. So that may be the issue, but let's just see if position still looks good. Yeah, position still looks good, right? So maybe it's not such an important issue. I think it is though, right? Because that actually, you know what? Maybe that wouldn't actually do that. The position is actually a global value, right? It would only be the other values that actually might start affecting things. Because these are local, right? So we rotate in X. Let's just see what that does. Right. So imagine the X is basically a it's like on a gear thing, and you put it straight through the middle of the cube. We rotate in X. As we increase the rotation, yeah, it's basically rotating in the X is equals infinity line, right? Or whatever. I can't think of. It's basically rotating towards the X-axis. Well, no. What's the best way to actually explain what that is actually doing? It's rotating. Right. It's rotating towards positive Z, right? Is what it's actually doing. It's rotating towards where the camera is. It's basically very high Z value. So that's what you'd expect to happen. Is there any way? Is there any way to get this to not work properly? I do wonder what this local thing means, right? Because it all looks like it should be. You see in the top view, it won't look quite right. See, obviously that doesn't look right in X, but obviously it is right. But I don't think that is a. It says sets the width of the cube along its local x-axis. Hmm. I don't know, man. I think everything is just global. That's what it looks like to me, right? It really does. Let's make it a bit smaller. Not that one. Orbit's better here, right? So what are the actual things that we can do with this? So I know I've gone about this stuff quite a lot, but it's always very important to think about these issues like again and again and again. Beveling is disabled by default. So what's the highest we can get the bevel on? It looks like it's basically diminishing. The bevel itself is kind of. Yeah, we actually, while we're here, we actually probably be better off. This bit is always a little bit awkward as well, the canvas size. Because if I do that, if you just do fit canvas, it gets bigger. Yeah, I suppose that's one way to do it.